And when you were in Fort Lewis, that's when you first met Hackworth, right?
That's absolutely correct. This was so cool. When now I'm a captain. By this time I'm a captain, right? And I'm the Secretary General of the SGS. I was the Secretary of the General Staff. Okay, what that means is I was the assistant for the Chief of Staff, basically, and so I'm. Yeah.
Did you know who Hackworth was?
Oh, of course. Okay. we all. I mean, Hack was a legend. Everybody knew who he was. But also because I had that job, one of my functions was I was the guy who coordinated the general schedule and the Chief of Staff schedule, and Hackworth was reporting into Fort Lewis as a new battalion commander. Okay. Well, whenever a new battalion commander came in, I always did research on the person. So I could tell the general, here's the guy who's coming, here's his background. Well, Hackworth was, Mr. Infantry, basically. And so when he came to see the general, he walks into the headquarters. I'm sitting behind this desk. He walks in. So I stand up. I say, welcome, Colonel Hackworth, to Fort Lewis. The general will be with you in 10 minutes, because he came early, right? The first words out of Hackworth's mouth, I'm not kidding, first words, what are you doing sitting behind a desk? He said, you should have a company. He said, if you want one, I'll give it to you. Okay? The guy doesn't know me from Adam, right? I mean, but I was pretty sharp in the way I wore my uniform. I did have, my jump wings and I have an expert infantryman's badge, okay? And I had my EIB, and that's it. I didn't wear any ribbons or any of that stuff. And just the stuff that counted as far as I was concerned. And so Hack saw that, and I said, Colonel, I really appreciate, what you're saying, but I came to the same conclusion that you did a couple months ago, and I've already talked to a battalion commander who's accepted me to take one of his companies. So I'm committed to him, sir. So I can't, I'd love to take you up on your offer, but I can't because I've committed to this other battalion commander. And Hack said, I understand totally. Okay, well, that turned out to be another God thing, because later on, as you know in the book, he and I got together and we saved the career of a drill sergeant.
I just want to hear a little bit more about this, because it's something that I haven't been able to gather from anyone. In my mind, I thought everyone must look at Hack like, this guy's Mr. Infantry, as you put it. But I also would say to myself, well, I'm thinking that because he wrote these books and because I studied him. But that was an actual thing. People knew who he was by his reputation throughout the Army.
Yeah, it was not only his reputation, but his appearance. I mean, his neck was probably the size of my waist. I mean, Hackworth was just, he always had, he wasn't bald like today, but eighth of an inch, razor sharp, sides and all that. And what I didn't say is Hackworth had this unique ability to size people up when he saw them. Like when he said that to me, and I've said this before, but Hackworth's, his philosophy was you're either a dud or a stud, and there was nothing in between. And he had this uncanny, I've seen it dozens of times, where he actually did size guys up, and I never saw him miss on that evaluation. He just had this instinct, to size guys up, and that's why he was successful as a commander, because one of the principles is to surround yourself with good people. And so when he came to a unit and he found some guys that weren't cutting it, they were gone. I mean, especially in combat, he can't tolerate that, and he had the strings that he could pull, and
he had the relationships all over the place, it seems.
That's right.